Are you hoping to get a new pair of lifters under your Christmas tree this year? Well, in this video, I'm going to be reviewing the new L1 from TYR, which is supposed to be the first anatomically shaped lifter shoe on the market. Alright, so this is the new TYR L1 lifters. And you can see here, they've got the double strap, and from the bottom you can see that they are a little bit wider here through the midfoot. At the toes, still a little bit of a pinch. When I tried these on, I didn't actually do the workout in these because even with an 11.5, which is my normal shoe size, they were still a little bit too tight in the toe. So when you compare that to something like this, which is my favorite shoe to lift in right now, this is the Ursus Barefoot by Barefoot Athletic. And you can see when you compare the shape of the shoe box here, of the toe box at the top of the shoe, you can see how this is much wider at the top of the toes, which is where your foot is actually supposed to be the widest. The problem with so many of the wide shoes, and I air quotes wide shoes, is they put the width in the midfoot, but the widest part is supposed to be your toes. So width through the midfoot is great. That does give you a little bit of a wider root to your shoe, but if you're not wide at the toe box, it doesn't actually accomplish what you're going for. It needs to be widest at the toe, and the TYRs are definitely an improvement, but I don't think that they're actually perfectly anatomically shaped. They actually remind me a lot of these Nike Romaleos too, which are one of my original lifting shoes that I wore for a long, long time. And when you compare these two side by side, you can see how much narrower, how much more of a taper there is here on the old Nikes, right? When you compare these two, you can see that there is a much, much wider toe shape here at the top on the TYRs than there are on the old Nikes. And all of the Nikes and Adidas and the Dowins, basically all of the conventional shoes that are out there, most of the big labels, they're gonna be tapered like this at the top, which is the opposite of what you want. So I give TYR a lot of credit, and shout out to Dr. Horshing from Squat University. These are the Squat University Special Limited Edition. They did do a lot of good work here to improve the overall shape. And for people that don't need as much room as I do, these might be a great option. The build on them is really solid. The grip is really solid. They actually remind me a lot in construction of these old Romaleos. The pitch is very similar. It's a 21 millimeter heel, which is about a 3/4 inch for those of us who are American. Quality materials, they seem solid. I didn't wear test them. I tried them on and didn't actually work out in them. I'm actually going to pass these on to somebody who bought them from me, but it's nylon. Looks like it's a synthetic leather upper, nylon straps. It felt solid on the foot. It was just too tight, a little bit narrow, still not quite the right shape for me. I'm gonna stick with my Ursus from Barefoot Athletics as my primary lifting shoes until I can figure out an option for an Olympic weightlifter that has as much width as I need. I could potentially go up a size in these TYRs, but because they're so limited, they're still on limited run and they're such special edition, you have to pre-order them, and I didn't order two pairs in an 11.5 and a 12. Maybe a 12 would work okay for me, but the length on this was right. 11.5 is the right length, and I don't want a bunch of extra length. It was just still too tight in the toe box. So hopefully I can find an option that allows me to fully spread my toes, that also has the heel height that I'm looking for when I'm doing jerks and long cycle. But until then, I will continue to stick with my old trusty Barefoot Ursus. So hopefully you find this review helpful. If you do, click like, subscribe, and go ahead and leave a review on the channel. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.